I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about, is no contact playing a game? One of the things that I hear a lot in my calls or see comments on the YouTube section is asking if playing or doing no contact is playing a game. And, people feel like it's a manipulation.
I've been asked that. Is no contact a manipulation?
But, Margaret and I have thought a lot about this,
Yes.
and we've talked about it, and we both agree that it isn't.
No.
It's not a game.
No.
And we're going to talk about why. Because I think it's really important for you guys to realize that we are all about promoting healthy, mature relationships.
We're not into game playing of any kind.
And as you can see by all the content that we put out there, we're always about, acting like an adult, communicating like an adult, and acting in a mature, healthy way to have a great relationship, because that is the foundation of a healthy relationship.
Yes.
The difference is that is in a relationship. When you're dealing with a breakup, it's a completely separate issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're no longer in a relationship. One person has unilaterally decided to end the relationship.
Yes.
Okay? It's no longer about we are a couple, we are together, we are working this out. That is when you're in a relationship. But when somebody says, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore,
That's right.
What happens to that dynamic?
Yeah, it ends. And, and one person makes the decision to end the relationship. Sometimes people together make a relationship to end a relationship. Mm-hmm. But if this person has taken the step to end the relationship, it's totally putting the responsibility where it belongs. Mm-hmm. And that's not always easy to do. It can be very painful. It's kind of like tough love. You ended it, therefore I am not speaking with you.
Yeah. And it's perfectly okay to do that.
Right.
I know many of you guys are terrified to do this. You get scared. You think they're going to get angry at you. You think that they're going to be more upset and be more likely to say, no, we're done, we're finished, you didn't contact me. But that's not how people act. Because when they choose to end the relationship, it's no longer your responsibility to try and repair it.
And that's why I say it's putting the responsibility where it belongs. And people have a really tough time with that by trying to take responsibility for the relationship ending and for the person making the decision. The person who makes the decision owns the decision.
That's right. It's not playing a game because you're not trying to manipulate this person. You're not trying to force them into doing something they want to do.
Right.
You're respecting that decision and saying, okay, if this is what you want, then I'm going to move forward.
Right.
And that's exactly what you do. Now, what often happens when you make that decision yourself is they say, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to be broken up with this person. I do love them. I do care about them. And now they start to rethink things.
Right.
Okay? But manipulation is by trying to get something without asking for it, right?
Yeah, manipulation is trying to get somebody to do something without telling them directly what you want. And that's the sneaky part about it.
And you see all kinds of forms of manipulation,
Oh,
don't
I've
you?
seen them all, yeah. Many kinds. And there's nothing honest about manipulation. By definition, it's sleazy. Because I don't want you to know what I want you to do. but I'm going to try to get you to do it anyway. I would like to borrow $20, Craig. My dog hasn't eaten for 3 days. My roommate is fainting, and I really need some money.
Instead of just saying,
Craig,
she needs $20 to go gamble again.
Yeah, which is probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, but I mean, there's something dishonest about a manipulation. But as Craig pointed out a little while ago, that's different from a strategy. Mm-hmm. A strategy is neither good nor bad. It's not, but to be a manipulation, it has to be sneaky.
Yeah, and it's not sneaky because you're respecting what they chose.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
It's not like they're saying, hey, let's talk about this, and then all of a sudden you stop reaching out to try and get what you want. No, they have ended the relationship, and you're saying, okay. And so, there's all kinds of forms of manipulation that we see. And one of the big ones that Margaret has really seen a lot of when it comes to breakups is family of origin stuff.
Yes. There's a lot of family of origin stuff involved. I talked with 2 people earlier today, and I thought both relationships were sabotaged by family of origin.
And that probably surprises a lot of people.
Yes, it does.
But one of the things Margaret and I have talked about is in the last year or so that she's been coaching with me, that's one of the big issues that keeps coming up.
Right. Is manipulation by the family of origin. Yeah. And that's why it's so important that we take that growth step as young adults to separate enough from our families that we make our own decisions.
So what that would look like, that's important to think about for a second, okay? What would it look like if somebody has separated from their family of origin and they're making their own decisions? What would that person look like so people have a good understanding?
Well, that person might be hearing at home, I don't think he makes enough money. I've never heard anything good about his family. Mm-hmm. I don't know if his career is going to go anywhere. I like that other guy you saw 3 years ago who was going to college. So there would be all that kind of subtle pressure on the person. And it would be for the person to say, thank you for the advice, I have taken it all into consideration, and I'm marrying him or her anyway. Absolutely. Yeah.
So when you're looking at a situation and you're trying to assess it, you want to look at, is your ex individuated? Are they living like an adult? Yep. Are they making their own decisions as to where they go, what they do, when they go out, where they go, who they spend their time with, what their career is? If they are individuated, there's going to be a lot less likely that the pressure of the family is going to impact
But
them.
if you're in your late teens or early 20s, it's almost impossible. It's extremely difficult. And I can repeat, in fact, I think I will repeat that one on the family of origin. And I said, beware of so-and-so is like this with her mother. Mm-hmm. We don't want that. So-and-so spends vast amounts of time with her sister. They're all so close. This family is just so close. Well, if you're going to take their family member away to be married to you, or maybe even to live in a different place, even though they may love you, they're going to do what they can do to prevent that person from leaving them.
That's right. Yeah. And that is a manipulation.
That is a manipulation.
See, that's where you're looking at game playing. See?
Yeah.
And that's why I brought this up, is you guys are worried that you're playing the game. But in many cases, it's your ex's family that's actually playing the game and manipulating them.
And I'm trying to make people conscious of that. And it's a difficult concept. I mean, my family's wonderful. They'd never do that to me. Really? And we had a blatant case where we had a quite dysfunctional family. And the parents had been living with a dysfunctional older sister for years. And in this particular case, finally, the dysfunctional older sister got healthy enough to move out. And the younger sister, who was in a relationship, and it sounded like a good relationship, was suddenly sucked back into the family. So they substituted her to not be alone for the older sister who had been dysfunctional. And the boyfriend of this woman was very upset, and I didn't blame him. And he was absolutely correct that they had created some kind of a crisis to get her back. It was a blatant example.
These are the things that Margaret can point out for your situation that you're simply not going to get anywhere else. I mean, tremendous amounts of experience. And that's why I'm so happy to have her on board, is because figuring out these kind of things only comes with her level of experience. I mean, she's seen it all.
I've seen it all. Well, every time I think I've seen it all, a case comes along where I go, well, no, guess I haven't.
We also talked about this in, I believe the video was called Secret Reasons for a Breakup.
Yes. Yep.
And because you guys, it's not hot and flashy to get your attention that you think, oh, this is the reason for the breakup. But there are real underlying issues
absolutely.
That may not sound all that exciting if in a title of a video, but they're the real deep things that Margaret gets into.
Yeah. And absolutely, it isn't your fault that this person broke up with you. They had pressure on them that they don't even understand. And we saw a blatant example a couple of weeks ago where grandparents had intervened intergenerationally to take over the control of a newborn child.
Yes.
And that's a very blatant example. And I can tell you that relationship is eventually going to fall apart because the groom in the relationship can't stand up to his parents. And the whole thing is going to fall apart. And I'm very sad and very sorry. But he had no idea, you know?
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, if you get into a serious commitment with somebody, they are your first priority over your family of origin. That's how it has to be, or we'd never have independent people able to make their own decisions.
Absolutely.
You know? If you listen to every actor who ever lived, they'll tell you that their parents didn't want them to go into acting and told them something, the famous line, they had to get something they could fall back on. Okay, so we wouldn't have any actors if nobody individuated enough to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was listening to an actor talk about that the other day on the radio, how, you know, his family was like, oh no, it wasn't an actor, it was from the Beatles. Who's left? Not Paul McCartney.
John Lennon, no.
Ringo.
Ringo, yeah.
It's Ringo, right?
Yeah.
And Ringo was on
Paul
the radio.
McCartney, yeah. Ringo, yes.
It was Ringo in the interview, and he talked about how his whole family of origin was like, don't join this band, and he's like, no, I'm going to do it.
Good for him.
And he goes, sometimes you have to make decisions in life.
Good for him.
And I was like, wow.
All right, good for you.
I thought that was really good.
Good for you. Not that our families don't mean well. They do. But ultimately, we have to be in charge of our own fate.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, the point is this. Going no contact and not reaching out to somebody after a breakup is not a game. However, there might be a lot of game playing on the other side. And you might want to look at if the family of origin is secretly manipulating or actually causing this breakup.
Yeah, and that can be.
And if you think that they are, then I highly recommend doing a coaching with Margaret for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she's got tremendous amount of experience.
That's fine. Sure. Be glad to talk with you. But it's hard to see. And it's guilt-provoking to be angry at your parents or anybody else's. It's not easy. But families don't give up their members very easily unless they're extremely healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If you liked it, make sure you put a like on there. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way the channel grows. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
Yes, I am. Feel free to sign up with me. I'll be happy to talk with you.
But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.